Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shah. Our top story: the Common University Entrance Test undergraduate scheduled for May 15th has been postponed in Delhi due to unavoidable reasons. This is what the National Testing Agency, the NTA, has announced on Tuesday night. The examination will now be conducted in the capital on May 29th and revised admit cards will be released for the candidates. The exam body further stated that the examination will proceed as scheduled in all other cities nationwide. And Ishika Verma joins us to get us more details. Ishika, the National Testing Agency cites unavoidable reasons for the postponement. What more can you tell us?
Well, yes, certainly, as you rightly pointed out, now the National Testing Agency has in fact announced the postponement of the CUET UG exams for the centers in Delhi. That means the exams, that were scheduled to take place tomorrow in Delhi, they will now be, taking place on May 29th. Now, this change is only for the centers in Delhi. That means all the other centers, which includes, centers in Gurugram, Faridabad, Noida, all of them will have their exams as per schedule, that is tomorrow. Now, this public notice that has been released by the NTA also, in fact, states that all the other exams that are, scheduled on May 16th, May 17th, May 18th, all of them will happen as per the schedule. Now, what we are getting to know as per the sources is that this is due to the manpower issues during this Lok Sabha election. But certainly, due to this last minute changes, what is also expected is that the candidates, they might face a lot of trouble tomorrow, since it is, this public notice just comes hours ago from the exam tomorrow. Over to you.
All right, Ishika Verma, thank you very much for getting us all the latest in that story. A 58-year-old man was killed by a speeding Delhi police vehicle when a drunk police constable's car allegedly rammed into the divider. This incident occurred on Monday morning at Delhi's Bhikachi Kama Place metro station. The victim's distraught daughter now complains of negligence by the authorities. Tanushka Datta gets us this report.
An inconsolable daughter's plea for justice for her deceased father.
मुझे मेरे फादर वापस कर दो, मैंने सिर्फ उनसे इतना ही बोला है। तो कहते हैं मैम जो चीज़ें हो चुकी हैं वो हो चुकी हैं, वो वापस नहीं आएंगी, ठीक है। मॉर्टम में क्या है, डेड बॉडी पहले कैसी थी, उसके बाद कैसी थी मुझे बता दे तो सही। कुछ नहीं बताया, सब खुद करा इन लोगों ने। सारी चीज़ें 3 बजे के बीच से 6 बजे के बीच में 3 घंटे में इन्होंने क्या करा, कहाँ एक्सीडेंट, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं। पुलिस वाले हैं, इन्हें तो सब पता है। हम तो नॉर्मल आम आदमी हैं, हमें क्या पता।
Never could Shivani Gupta have imagined that her world would come crashing down like this. Her father killed in a hit-and-run case by a cop in a police vehicle. Shivani says that the police handed over her father's body after a long delay. Shivani is an athlete, bodybuilder and a fitness influencer. Her father was her guide. He encouraged her every step of the way towards her goals.
शाम को 5 बजे मैं सुबह 6 बजे से आई हूँ, पापा कर रही हूँ, और उन लोगों को ये नहीं दिख रहा कि 6 बज गए।
Baijnath Gupta was killed by a Delhi police constable, Pradeep Kumar, posted at Rajendra Nagar police station, who was driving drunk. According to DCP Southwest Rohit Meena, the constable was driving official vehicle of Rajendra Nagar SHO and drinking with his 2 friends inside the car. The car rammed into a divider at a high speed, mowed down the deceased and turned turtle. The 58-year-old man was returning home from his workplace early Monday morning when he was found dead at Bhikaji Kama Place metro station. Dr. Vipin Madhogharia, who has been Shivani's doctor for years, describes the state in which her father's body was brought to the mortuary at Safdarjung.
जो डॉक्टर दिव्या हैं वहाँ पर, जिन्होंने ये पोस्टमार्टम को किया है, मेरे को मेरे फ्रेंड्स हैं वहाँ पर, सारे जूनियर्स हैं, तो उनसे मेरे को ज्ञात हुआ कि उनकी हालत इतनी बुरी, ऐसा लग रहा है कि गाड़ी 3-4 बार उनके चेहरे पे चढ़ा दी हो। आंखें बाहर थी बिल्कुल, चेहरे का पता ही नहीं लग रहा था हुलिया का कि ऐसा चेहरा, मतलब कोई अगर शिवानी भी वहाँ होती या उनकी फैमिली कोई होता तो वो पहचान नहीं पाते कि ये उनके फादर हैं। तो मैम ये जो एक्सीडेंट बता रहे हैं बार बार, ये तो हमें मर्डर लग रहा है, जानबूझकर उसको मतलब कि चढ़ाई गई है गाड़ी उनके ऊपर।
Drinking and driving is illegal and the law is equal to all. In the wee hours of Monday, 58-year-old Baijnath Gupta was killed in a hit-and-run case by a Delhi police constable who was driving in an intoxicated manner. Police say that they have arrested the constable, but the family of the deceased claims that there is more to the matter and seek justice. With camera person Arun Negi, this is Tanushka Datta for NDTV 24/7.
A day after the deadly collapse of a 14,400 square foot billboard in Mumbai's Ghatkopar, 14 people have been killed and 74 others injured after the creaking 100-foot metal structure buffeted by strong winds fell on and crushed a petrol station. The human cause of the tragedy has been underlined. Here's a report.
A blinding dust storm that led to a fatal crash. This 100 feet tall massive hoarding crashed in Mumbai, striking a deadly blow to the families of 14 people who died in the hoarding collapse. The permissible limit for hoardings is 40 feet. Amidst a sudden dust storm and rain, at least 100 people found themselves trapped in the chaos. Shockingly, the hoarding was illegal. There was no civic body permission for it. The civic body claims they have objected to railway police not seeking permission for putting up hoardings on their land and have now ordered an audit post the tragedy.
इसमें देखिए, बीएमसी ने उस होर्डिंग के लिए और बाकी बहुत सारी होर्डिंग के लिए बीएमसी का परमिशन नहीं लिया जा रहा है। इसमें किसने प्रक्रिया फॉलो नहीं की, कहाँ पे कुछ लैप्स हो गई, उसका डिटेल इंक्वायरी होगी और जो भी इसमें दोषी है उनके ऊपर कठोर से कठोर कार्रवाई होगी।
The railway police have claimed in a statement that they had started the process of removing the illegal hoardings, but before they could complete their work, it was too late. Police have filed a case of culpable homicide against the ad agency owner, who is a known history sheeter and had even been booked in rape case earlier this year. But while authorities are busy passing the buck, these families seek answers. Many of the deceased were sole breadwinners in their families.
5 लाख जाहिर करके कुछ होता है क्या? और 5 लाख जाहिर करने के बाद उसको भी 6-7 महीना जाएगा, उसका भी कुछ प्रोसीजर है। और वो बोर्ड 40/40 का परमिशन था, फिर भी 120 कैसा परमिशन किधर से मिला? और इतना होल्डिंग का पूरा पेट्रोल पंप झक गया है, इतना बड़ा होल्डिंग है वो। और होल्डिंग ने और सरकार ने कुछ जो इतना मौत हो गई, उनके फैमिली का 5 लाख देके कुछ होगा नहीं है।
As history sheeter Bhavesh faces charges, no accountability has been pinned on civic, railway or government official. The recurring question remains, where does accountability and responsibility lie when negligence costs innocent lives? With video journalist Bijoy, this is Radhika Ramaswamy for NDTV.
Time for a short break. More news on the other side. Welcome back. Prime Minister Narendra Modi filed his nomination for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections from Uttar Pradesh's Varanasi on Tuesday morning, accompanied by senior leaders from the Bharatiya Janata Party and its alliance partners. Remember, this is the third time the Prime Minister will be contesting this seat, and it was an opportunity to show the strength of the NDA.
May 2024, the day Prime Minister Narendra Modi filed his nomination for a hat-trick bid, both as Kashi ka Lal.
माँ गंगा ने मुझे गोद लिया है।
and the prime ministerial face of his NDA government. The constant was prayers to Ma Ganga, this time at the Dashashwamedh Ghat, and blessings of Kal Bhairav before he stepped into the DM's office as BJP's candidate from Banaras. NDA leaders felicitated the Prime Minister, replete with symbolism. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and NCP Working President Praful Patel crowned Narendra Modi with a traditional Maratha Safa. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath accompanied Prime Minister Modi for the final formalities. Like the previous two times, his pick of proposers was also a story in itself. Pandit Ganeshwar Shastri led the Pran Pratishtha and suggested the auspicious time for it. Baijnath Patel is an RSS worker from the OBC community. Lal Chand Kushwaha is also from the OBC community and Sanjay Sonkar from the SC community. The Prime Minister walked out with an army of 25 NDA leaders, the top faces from north to south and east to west, as well as the senior-most lieutenants. Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Party President JP Nadda. Varanasi will be among the last to vote in the 7th phase on the 1st of June. With Maria Shakil and Tanish Punjabi, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And NDTV spoke to former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah. Omar is contesting the Lok Sabha polls, this time from North Kashmir. He spoke to my colleague Nazir Masoodi on the first elections in Jammu and Kashmir post the abrogation of Article 370.
Well, it is high-stakes battle in North Kashmir, Baramulla constituency, and former Chief Minister and National Conference leader Omar Abdullah is contesting from here. Omar Sahab, you have been in campaigning now for weeks together. Is it different, this campaigning, than the earlier elections?
Well, it's different for a number of reasons. One, I'm fighting from North Kashmir for the first time. But that aside, it's different for everybody. It's different because this is the first election we're fighting as a union territory. This is the first election we're fighting after we were split into two. It's the first election we're fighting after we lost the constitutional safeguards afforded to us through Article 370. It's the first election we're fighting after delimitation, when constituencies have been randomly redrawn with no logic and no sense. So for very many reasons, this election is very different.
If we go by your speech, what you are talking to people, it appears that as if this election is about our existential, thing. Is this situation so serious post-abrogation of Article?
Well, we face an existential threat. We face a threat to our very existence because 370, the removal of 370, removed the protections that we had for our identity, for the lands that were given to the people free of any compensation in 1950. It removes the protection that we had for our jobs. For any number of reasons, we are facing a threat to our existence.
But BJP has been saying we have given people of Jammu and Kashmir same rights as any other citizen of the country has.
Well, actually not.
And they say nothing has been taken away from people. Even BJP is not one contesting.
Well, that is, that would have been the second part to my answer. But the first part is no. We have amongst the weakest domicile laws in this country. Just like Ladakh. Ladakh has stronger domicile protection today than we do, even though we were born of the same decision to strip us of 370 and our state subject rights. Ladakh has better protection for its lands, and even they're not satisfied. We have no protection at all. Today you have people from outside Jammu and Kashmir contesting these parliament elections. If nothing else, we hope that when J&K is restored to full statehood, one of the first decisions that will have to be taken will be to strengthen our domicile laws so that we can protect our lands, we can protect our jobs, we can at least protect our future.
JDS MLA and son of former Prime Minister H.D. Deve Gowda, who was arrested on the 4th of May in a case of abduction, was released on bail from the jail in Bengaluru. H.D. Revanna also faces a case of molestation. But the big question is, why has there been no progress in bringing back Revanna's son and the Hassan MP Prajwal Revanna to face the investigating authorities? Remember, Prajwal faces a case of rape and other serious crimes and had fled the country soon after the allegations erupted.
ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಆದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ಪಾಲಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಬೇರೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಕಾಲುವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಪಾರವಾದಂತ ಗೌರವ ಇದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಕಳೆದ 11 ದಿನದಿಂದ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಆದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ಪಾಲಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಆಪಾದನೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೊರಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ದೇವರ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಇದಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೌರವ ಇದೆ. ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಆದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ.
The Aam Aadmi Party will be made an accused in the alleged liquor policy scam, which has seen 3 of its key leaders, including party chief and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, land behind bars. The Enforcement Directorate has informed the Delhi High Court. This will be the first time a political party will be made an accused in a case.
It would be on Friday or before that the charge sheet will be filed, and this would probably be last charge sheet in the alleged Delhi liquor policy case, in which the Enforcement Directorate is going to make Aam Aadmi Party an accused, and this would be for the very first time unprecedented in itself as far as a political party being made accused in any of the cases. Now remember, it is to be noted that the Delhi High Court recently, while dismissing the petition of Arvind Kejriwal, who challenged his arrest, the Delhi High Court at that point of time stated that any political party can be brought in purview of the PMLA Act. It has been stated that the definition of a company as far as Section 2F of the People's Representation Act clearly states that any association of individuals or people can relate to a company.